attention, please. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. We're very excited this morning to have for you guys a career panel. This morning we have some very special guests in the house. They're going to introduce themselves as they come up to share. But what's going to happen is you'll have an opportunity to hear about some different careers and how you might want to pursue these careers in the future. At the end of hearing from our special guests, you will have an opportunity to ask questions of your own. So let's give a round of applause to our special guests for coming. We really appreciate you guys being here. I'm going to invite Ms. Carmen Goldberg to the mic as she will introduce and call up each guest to the podium. Carmen, let's give it up for Ms. Goldberg one time. One time, Ms. Goldberg.
Good morning, everyone. This is so exciting that I'm here with you. Career Day is a very special day where you're going to learn about everybody's career, the career choices, and why they chose that career. I want you to pay very good attention. And I really want you to send me an email after Career Day because your input is very important to me. But without further ado, I'm going to invite the first guest, a very special man who cares about this beautiful city that we all live in and wants to make a difference in your lives, to better your life and the better of all the other citizens. None other than our great friend, Mayor Mike Spano.
Morning all. You guys hear me okay in the back? Everybody's good? Weather's turning. Summer's coming. I know it's the last thing you want to do, sit here and listen to me, right? But I will say this. There are some really wonderful people here in the panel today. All who have chosen careers in their lives and have done so because of life experiences. They've done so because they've had relatives maybe that have shared those experiences, or they've done so because they saw a wrong and they wanted to make it right, and they thought this was the best path to do it. So I took a career of public service, and I knew when I was in the 3rd grade that I wanted to be mayor of Yonkers. I told my teacher that I was going to be mayor of Yonkers one day. I was going to drive a black car. I got a black car, and I am there. And this is the city that I was born and raised in, the city that my grandparents immigrated to in order for me to come here and have a better life in America. Now, America, as we all know, is this wonderful country, right? Not perfect, because only one person is perfect, but a country that strives to be perfect, and that can change, and can morph, and become what we all need to provide for each and every one of us to succeed. So if you choose a career in public service, it's really simple. You need to care. You need to care about your neighbors. You need to care about your community. You need to care to want to fight and make a change. So it starts out with caring. Then you need to make sure you have the fight inside you and the plan to make those changes. My plan in Yonkers was to make us safer. My plan in Yonkers was to provide for greater education, to be a more inclusive city, a city that is representative of all the wonderful different communities that call Yonkers home, all the different nationalities and the languages that are spoken here make Yonkers one of the best places to live in all America. So when you listen to all of us speak, try to get a gauge. Who are they? Where are they from? What drives them? What motivates them? What makes them want to do what they do? Because I know what motivates me. And that's each and every one of you. To do what is right, so that our community can grow and prosper, so that someone else can step in, become mayor one day. But hopefully, that when it happens, they'll look back and say, he did a good job, and he represented us well. And that's what we all want in any of our professions. Whether you're a teacher, or a lawyer, or a firefighter, or a councilwoman, you want people to look back at your job performance and say, hey, good job. Just like you're doing here at school. And I'm going to say that right now. Good job. Keep it up. Enjoy the summer. And
Thank you, Vice Bell, thank you to all the panelists. Next, we have Judge Ada Medina.
She invited me here, so I want to thank her for inviting me here. This is a beautiful sight to see. I love hearing about all the wonderful things that you're doing here at your school and all the opportunities that you all have. You have a beautiful campus. I wish my campus was this nice when I went to high school. Unfortunately, I went to Gordon High School. We still need some work, Mayor. We need some work at Gordon High School, but that's where I graduated from. So, kind of similar to the mayor, when I was 13 years old, I decided I wanted to become a lawyer. And the reason that I wanted to become a lawyer is because at that time, we were going through a very difficult time here in Yonkers. The crack epidemic had just hit, and it was really affecting a lot of people in my neighborhood. I grew up here in Yonkers. I was born here in Yonkers. And I saw a lot of family, friends, neighbors become addicted, start selling drugs because they needed to make ends meet, they needed to pay their bills, and they thought that was the way to do it. And so I wound up being in court a lot, unfortunately, with my family. And when I went to court, I didn't see people that looked like me or you. And I wanted to change that. There was no one on the bench, there was not one judge, there was not one lawyer that was brown or black, and I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to be a voice for our community. I wanted to be able to relate to them and let them know that they're not alone, that they know where they come from. I know where they come from. I know the struggles that it is to be poor and to have choices that are bad and bad, right? Because sometimes you don't have a good choice, and so you choose bad things. But I wanted them to know that you could make good choices. Each and every one of you can choose to do better for yourself. Even if you're in a situation where you think it's hopeless, you can do better for yourself. So I studied really hard, and I decided I wanted to become a lawyer so I could become a public defender. And I went to school, I got a scholarship to college, I went to school in Boston, and then I came back here, and I became a public defender here in Yonkers, which was my dream. And I did that for almost 20 years. And partway through that dream, I said, you know what? I want to be a judge. I didn't know how I was going to get there, but I hoped and I dreamed and I worked hard. And last year, the mayor, to his credit, appointed me to become judge of the city. And so I've been a judge now for a little over a year. And my job as a judge is to make sure that everyone that comes in front of me feels heard, feels listened to, knows that I am listening to your problem. I can't fix your problem sometimes. I can't give you everything that you want on either side, but my job is to hear you, respect you, give you the best outcome that I can give you when you're in front of me. And so I take that job very seriously, and I love what I do. It is a wonderful, wonderful career, but it's not easy because what I do, the decisions I make, impact people every single day. And so I take that very seriously. What you need to do, if you want to become a lawyer or a judge, you got to work really hard. You got to love to read. You got to love to listen. And you gotta love to talk, because we talk a lot. Okay, but I'm so happy to see all of you, and I can't wait to hear all of your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Medina. And now we present to you Kelly Chiarella.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kelly Chiarella. I'm the director for Yonkers Office for the Aging. Yonkers, well, first I'd like to say thank you to Principal Palmer and Ms. Goldberg for inviting me here this morning. I get a little nervous in front of the larger crowd. I'm not going to kid you, but here we are. So, Yonkers Office for the Aging is a city department under the guidance of Mayor Mike Spano. We assist our senior residents ages 60 years and older with pretty much anything you need. How many people here have grandparents or resident or relatives over 60 years old in Yonkers? No grandparents here in Yonkers? All right, I got it. All right, so pay attention, because I'm going to tell you very quickly what we do. City of Yonkers offers transportation services, home health aid services, case management, home delivered meals, wellness and exercise programs. We have 4 congregate nutrition sites that offer nutritious meals to seniors. Last year in the city of Yonkers, we delivered 71,000 meals to seniors that are homebound and are aging in place. And that's what we basically do. We offer a lot of application assistance, that type of service. It's a really nice job because I get to, like the mayor said, it's public service. I get to help people every single day. And when I talk about those services in a nutshell, it really does not define what I do in a day. My day is based around people. It's around assisting people. So, for instance, today when I leave here, I'll be meeting with a client at 11 o'clock that has cancer. She's financially not able to afford her apartment anymore. She just got some parking tickets last week that put her, or she's trying to deal with them, that put her license on hold, and now she cannot get to her cancer treatments. And so we're going to navigate how to get her out of this financial issue, how to be able to get her to her appointments, and how to make her life sustainable so that she can afford to live in place and go to her appointments. After that, I'll be dealing with the fire victims from Bruce Avenue. They're going to need housing, they need food, they need clothing. And where do they go? Once you're in a fire, if any of you have been through those tragedies, if you don't have insurance, there's very little options. And so I help people navigate the next decisions. I feel like my whole life has been based around public service. I believe very, very much in one day at a time, waking up every single morning, setting my intentions for the day on how I can help people, looking at my calendar, and then seeing what that looks like. I was appointed by the mayor, Greta Flood, back in about 9 years ago. Absolutely love my career. Love my job. I get to go to work every single day. I have a staff of about 45 people. I have 11 vans out every day delivering people and delivering food. I get to help people, help my community. I too was born here, raised here. My family goes back to Yonkers from 1897. I also went to Gordon High School and graduated from Gordon High School. And I think my main message to you is, like the mayor said, it starts with caring, but it also starts with character, and it starts with hard work, and it starts with an ethic, and it starts with willingness. It just means you just need to get up every single day and care about what you do to get to the place where you love what you do. I'm blessed to be able to do my job. I feel like it was made for me, and I'm grateful that the mayor offered me this opportunity many, many years ago. And I also look forward to your questions, because I feel like there's a lot of services in the city of Yonkers that many, many people don't know about. And I love my job. Thanks.
Thank you, Kelly. And now I'm going to present to you, now listen very carefully, I'm going to present to you the youngest panelist. She is also Mr. Palmer's goddaughter, so I do need you to pay attention. One of the greatest young panelists we ever had, April Jones. Thank you, April. I want to introduce to you, I think many of you know her because a lot of the relatives are here at this high school. But I want to introduce to you someone who continues to fight for everything that you guys need to make sure that you are successful. And that is the council member for this district where the charter school is located. None other than our friend and a friend to all, a council member, Shanae Williams.
Good morning, everyone. Y'all got to try again. Good morning, everyone. All right, that's better. Okay, thank you. I like the energy. So yes, as Ms. Carmen said, look, I have a couple of cousins here. I'm not going to say their names because I don't want to embarrass them. But okay, y'all can say it. But you know, they know my story, but many of you don't, right? And so I'm happy to be here, and I'm thankful to be here. Mr. Palmer, Ms. Goldberg, I appreciate you guys, and thank you for giving me your attention because this is so important. When I was your age, Well, first of all, let me ask you a question. How many of you are immigrants, or you were born in another country? Your family might have been from somewhere else. Raise up, raise up. Okay, that's right. Yes. Figure it out. All right, guys. Thank you for answering. Having fun with that. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. Okay. Now, how many of you are we listening? How many of you at this point in your lives know what you want to be when you grow up, when you leave high school? Okay, that's good. So like many of you, I'm not from this country. I was born in Jamaica. You might have heard of that little island. Yeah? And are we listening? Okay, so I was born in a little island called Jamaica, and I came here when I was a young girl, and as an immigrant, so many of you might be able to relate, because one of the things that we talk about is that when we migrate to this country is the American dream. And for us, the way to realize that American dream is to take our education very seriously, right? We have to become either a lawyer or a doctor. That was my mindset as a young person. That was my goal in order to make that American dream a reality. And so, at your age, I thought I knew what I wanted to do. I was going to become a lawyer. I was going to go to school. I was going to graduate. I was going to, find a good job and help my family. And that is still the goal, right? But God had other plans. And when I was in college, I ended up being an intern, right, for this guy right here, our mayor, when he was an assembly person in New York State up in Albany. And so I worked in his office, and I said, well, this is so fun. I get to create laws that will impact people's lives and make a difference, and that's something that I want to do when I leave college. I don't think I want to go to law school anymore. And so because of that internship, right, that's the key that I want you guys to take away. Doing internships. You can start now in high school, you can start when you get to college, or if you don't go to college. Get a feel for the work that you want to do, that you think you want to do for the rest of your lives, because you may love it, or you may not. And so, you have plenty of time to course correct, right? So I ended up loving government work, loving serving people, and so I went on to work for the mayor when he became mayor in 2012. And at that point, I learned everything about Yonkers. I saw there were so many issues. I saw there were so many things that I could, I wanted to be at the table to make a difference. At the time, there wasn't many women, and there's still not enough women, but there wasn't many young women of color or immigrants representing their communities. And actually, I am the first, no, not the first, I am the first Jamaican-born immigrant representing on the city council in the city of Yonkers. So that is all right, take it easy, Josh. Relax. I'm sorry. So I love what I do. I get to create laws. I get to fight for more affordable housing so that we can, get people who are struggling to pay for these high rents in units that they can actually afford to live in, and they don't have to be forced out of their homes. I get to create laws and put money in the budget to help our school district and also to help the community at large. Those are some really important things. Local laws matter so much, and that is why I love the work that I do. And I encourage you, if you want to make an impact in your community, if you want to represent your community and be at the table where you can make real changes happen and help people, then think about what life can be like in government. It's hard. You don't sleep enough. You have to be everywhere and all the time, and you're not God, so it's impossible, but you do the best that you can. And I think that many people find that it's also rewarding when you're able to help that senior citizen with whatever issue they're having, or you're able to help a veteran get a job, or something as small as it may be to us is a big deal to someone else who's vulnerable and who needs that help. So with that, I have to say I may or may not be here for the entire Q&A, so I apologize in advance if I'm a little early, but it's great to be here with you all, and I look forward to speaking with you all one-on-one. Thanks.
Thank you, Shanae. And now I I introduce to you a woman entrepreneur who goes way beyond her call of duty, Jessica Arce.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here today. I'm really honored to be able to share my story with all of you. So, my name is Jessica. I own a luxury resale store in Armonk, New York by the name of Lux. For those of you who don't know what resale is, also known as consignment, it's when someone brings you an item to sell and you take it into your store, you sell it for them, and when you sell it, you pay them a percentage. So if you bring me your hat, I sell it for $100, I give you $50, I take $50. So it's a great business model because you don't have to pay for inventory. People just bring you their stuff. So I opened my store in 2016 in Chappaqua, 500 square feet, little brick building, and business was really good. About a year later, we opened another store, 3,000 square feet. So business was good. I was really happy with that. And we've been doing really well, increasingly every year. We won Best of Westchester 4 times. It's a pretty big deal here in the county. And it's been good. Hard work, a lot of hard work, but really rewarding. How did I get here? Well, I am born and bred on McLean Avenue in Yonkers. I'm the youngest of 5, growing up in a 3-bedroom apartment. Needless to say, money and space were very tight. And I think that's kind of where some of my ambition came from. I wanted to have my own space, my own things. So I went to Saunders Trade and Technical School and majored in fashion. I loved it. It was really fun and interesting to me. I knew I wanted a career in fashion. I just didn't know what exactly, but I grew a liking to it. So at the time, I didn't really have the guidance that I needed to achieve my career in fashion that I wanted. So I went to high school. The day after I graduated, my then part-time job became my full-time job. And I worked full-time every day in a corporate setting. I did that for several years, and then I went and moved on to another corporate job. Did that for several years. But all the while, I was just thinking, like, this is not what I wanted. This is not really what I wanted to do. So in addition to my 9-to-5 job, I decided to work at a woman's boutique on the weekends. I wanted to kind of get the feel for it. I loved fashion. It was fun and work, so I did that, and I learned a lot. And it took me about 2 years, and I was like, you know what? I can do this on my own. And I did. I got a business partner. I left there. A month later, I opened up that store in Chappaqua. And it's been a success, but it's been a lot of hard work, and it was scary. It was a scary leap, but it was worth it. You get to, kind of create your own ideas, work your own time, hire people, hard work, but a lot of flexibility too. So it's a great option, and I love it. And I just think it's important to know that success isn't measured by being a CEO of a company that's doing $1 billion a year. And success is not selling millions of dollars at a retail store either. Success is you being happy, working very hard, earning a living for yourself, and that could be enough. That could be your success. So it's measured on a lot of different levels. But that's my story. Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you, Jessica. And now I leave you with Yonkers bravest, a friend to us all, David Amasa.
CSEE, can I get a your? What's up, everybody? Listen, before I introduce myself, I'm going to introduce my team, right? Fire department, and we work as a team. So I'm going to introduce my team first. We have firefighters Zach, Brian, Gilliam. And we got the senior man in the group, Bruce Santos. And once again, my name is Dave Almanza, and what I want you guys to know about myself, along with the team that's here, is that we're all from Yonkers here, all right? My man Zach right here, he grew up in Runyon. Bruce, he grew up all in and out around the southwest side of Yonkers. Myself, I was in and out of South Broadway. Predominantly, I spent my time in School Street. So we're from the same places that you guys are from. I want you guys to know that, all right? And with that being said, we're firemen, and being a fireman is the best job in the world. Being a fireman has everything to do with helping others, right? And we do a lot more than just respond to fires. We respond to medical emergencies. We respond to car accidents, gas leaks, water emergencies. We do it all, and it's all in service of others. So, as far as myself, I'm the son of war refugee parents. My parents migrated here from Nicaragua back in the late 70s. I didn't speak a word of English until about kindergarten, first grade. I was an ESL student. I'm a product of the Yonkers public school system. Went to School 9, went to Pearls, went to Mark Twain, which is now known as YMA, then to Museum, and then to Lincoln High School, where I'm a graduate from. All right, so I'm a product from the same place that you guys are from. Being a fireman, I got word of being a fireman going to the barbershop. There was a sign saying that they were hiring. That's how I got put on. I didn't know anybody. Nobody hooked me up. Nobody gave me a word. It was just the right place, right time. So what I want you guys to know is that this could be the right place and the right time for you guys too. We've got a lot of information that we're looking to share with you guys, how to give you guys information on how to become a firefighter, and that's for boys and girls, all right? I don't think the ladies get enough encouragement as far as being a firefighter, so I just want the ladies to know also that you guys are more than welcome to come ask questions and find out, because we're looking to hire you guys as well. It's not a man's job, it's an everybody's job. So I'll leave it at that. We're going to be right here in the corner waiting for you guys to ask some questions, and we're here for y'all, all right?
Everyone loves a firefighter. Thank you, guys. Now we have from St. Joseph's Hospital, Grace Figley.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. I want to thank the leadership here at the school. So I began my career many, many moons ago, and I was always intrigued by science. If a bird fell out of the nest in the tree, a little young one didn't make it, I would take it in my room and dissect it. I was always intrigued by bugs. So just to give you a little bit of background, I got my first microscope set at 7 years old, and I would take the fly's wings and pull it apart and look at the rainbow under the microscope. I didn't know what I wanted to be in healthcare, but I was just intrigued, and I wanted to save the world. I, like you, I have immigrant parents. I'm the first generation and the first to graduate high school, college, and even a master's degree. My father had 3 jobs, was a laborer, and my mom was home trying to take care of myself and my brother. If you have a dream, that is the blessing in this country. It doesn't matter the diversity, it doesn't matter the background. My father said, why do you want to go to school? Why do you want to go to college? Stay home, meet a nice man, and have a family. That's your job. And I said, Dad, I was always a rebel. I don't want to just stay home and have children. That's part of the job. But I want to use my brain, and I I want to do something that's going to make a difference in life. I want to help people. Just like the other panelists here. There was a calling. So after I finished high school, and by the way, I was always a leader. I never followed a crowd. I was a nonconformist. And that you have to find within yourself. When I went to college, I also joined the varsity team. I was on the college team. Glee club. I try to do as much as I can and find myself. But I had wonderful, wonderful mentors like you have here at the school. They believed in me and they saw that I was very ambitious and motivated, self-motivated. I wanted to have money in my pocket. My father said, I'm going to provide for you, but I don't have extra money to give you. So at 16 years old, my neighbor said, we're hiring at the local bakery. School is going to end in June for you. Why don't you try it? So that was my first introduction to public service. Behind the counter selling cookies, and then I said to my boss, why don't we also serve coffee in the morning? Coffee in a Kaiser roll with butter. She said, you know what? She was from Germany. She was also an immigrant. She said, let's try it. And then I said to her, you know what? Why don't you get a little grill? We'll do a short order cook. Ham and eggs, scrambled eggs, bacon. And people believed in me. That's the whole thing. Once people get to know your personality, and the most important thing is your character, they'll believe in you. So now I go off, I graduate, and I'm going to go to college. I knew I wanted to go into health sciences, but I wasn't sure what. Physical therapy, occupational therapy, a nurse, a doctor. So someone said to me, why don't you become a medical technologist? I said, what is that? Does anybody know what a medical technologist is? What is it? Stand up. Okay. So when you have to go for your physical, when you go for your annual physicals, and they draw blood, or you have a sick person in your family that needs a hospital, all the laboratory tests go to the lab. And they're either working with different specimens, be it blood cells or blood fluids, such as urine or plasma. I don't know if you're aware that 70% of your diagnoses come from the laboratory. Not just radiology. Not just the other tests that they do, 70%, think about it. And all of those COVID tests, all of those flu tests that went on for almost 3 years, that's your medical technologist working behind the scenes 24/7. We don't take off for New Year's Eve. We don't take off weekends. We're on a rotation basis. It's a great field, be it a man or a woman. You can have more than one job if you so choose. You have the latest technology. We work in microbiology, which are dealing with specimen and growing bugs, letting the physicians know what kind of antibiotic to give. We work with different blood cells. If someone gets diagnosed with leukemia, we can help the doctors create what kind of blood disease it is, what kind of treatment is needed. And then when I was on the bench for 7 years, I found it a little bit unchallenging. I got to rotate in blood bank, blood type. I got to run the chemistry department. So my boss said to me, you know what, I think you need to be a supervisor. I think you need to teach. You're so good at the level that you're at, why don't you try it? If you don't like it, I was at Jacoby Hospital. Jacoby Hospital said, if you don't like it, come back. So I was told there was a supervisor position, entry level, and I took that job in North Central Bronx. So I actually grew up in this area too. I did that for a couple of years. I had a wonderful experience where I said, you know what, I am ordering controls. Controls are known materials. So before you run a blood test on your machine, how do you know that machine is working properly? Today you have a car, everything is on a digital board, so you'll know exactly if you need an oil change, if your tire is low, etc. But the machines in the laboratory, how will you know that that machine is working to optimum best? So we have to run these materials which has known concentrations. And I'll use glucose as an example. So this bottle has 100 milligrams of glucose in it. And you're allowed to get 95% above or below, which makes it 95 to 105. That's a good running machine. And then when I was doing all this ordering, I only had one refrigerator at North Central Bronx Hospital. And I said to the administrator, this is crazy. I am ordering almost every other month, and I'm wasting time and money. And something that you learn, you have to have consistency in the laboratory. If you run that same blood 100 times, you better get the same result or similar. That doesn't be exact. So they said, well, we don't have money for another refrigerator. I said, this is crazy. I'm spending more money ordering every month and getting the same lot number. So what happened? They said, go speak to the administrator. You convince your story. So I did all of these studies for 6 months. I showed them how much money I spent and how much money the tech spends and time calibrating the equipment. So this sharp-looking administrator was wearing his suit, said to me, young lady, what is it you want to meet with me about? It's a little bit intimidating, but it's a little shorter than me, but that's okay. I said to him, let me explain to you what's happening in the laboratory. It doesn't make sense to me. So when I showed him how much money I spent over 6 months, and what it took, the time, the tech, I said, you're wasting more tech time instead of doing more lab tests to be more efficient. You know what he said to me at the end of a 20-minute conversation? He says to me, young lady, bring me that requisition tomorrow. I was stunned. I said, excuse me, sir? He said to me, you bring me that order tomorrow and I'll sign off on it. So I learned very basically return on your investment. I didn't know what he was talking about, but I got that second refrigerator. And then he called me down to his office about a year later. He was like, what does the administrator want to speak to you about? I said, I have no idea. So he said to me, I have best friends that own a private laboratory in Queens. They're looking for an administrator. I thought of you. You treat this laboratory like it's your own. So I got hired after 3 interviews, and I wound up spending 13 years there until they sold the laboratory. Now I go to a seminar. And they said to me, doesn't Grace look good for an administrator that just worked all night? I was working the 9 p.m. shift to 9 a.m. shift in the laboratory. He says to me, how many miles are you traveling to go to work? I said, 48 miles one way. He said, you know what? Give me a call tomorrow. This is somebody that was at the seminar. Here's my number. Call me. And that's how my career continued to escalate. I got an opportunity to be a lab manager, and then I got a call at St. Joseph's 7 years ago if I wanted to be a director. So the moral of the story is, as long as you're passionate, you find the job that makes you very happy, and 44 years later, I don't feel like I worked a day in my life.
I need help with the microphone for the Q&A. Ms. Falco?
All right, students, so what we're going to do, if you have a question, If you have a question, we only have a few minutes, but we'll take as many questions as we can. You may come down and see Mrs. Perez or Mr. Settler. You may come down and see Mrs. Perez or Mr. Settler if you have a question.
guess students aren't supposed to see on the day-to-day, but they also do offer us a lot of services. Pastors talking to firefighters. They offer us services beyond that so that we can talk to somebody professionally if we feel like we need to. And I know there's a big stigma about mental health, and we're trying to get past that on the fire department and make it easier for people to open up about the things that are true.
For the judge, how are your hours in being a judge?
Well, so we work court hours, mostly 9 to 5, and then we also have to be on call on the weekends, on Saturdays, as well as at nighttime, because the police officers need a search warrant for emergency situations, like for instance a murder or homicide. So we're available on an on-call basis to review those search warrants. But for the most part, it's 9 to 5, but we do have other hours that we have to work on the weekends and the night.
So like if you're sleeping, they wake you up to...
Yes, they will wake us up for the search warrant, yes.
This for the judge as well. What do you need to do when you guys are doing like volunteer stuff, like classes you have to teach to get into law school?
Okay, so to get into law school, you just have to go to college. A 4-year college degree. You can major in any major you want in college. They don't have any specific major for law school, but the majors that will help you usually involve a lot of writing, reading, things like that, because it is a lot of writing and reading in law school. What was hardest for me when I went to law school is I took a year between college and law school, and the first assignment for the first class, we had to read about 300 to 400 pages for the first day of school. So you have to be able to read quickly and be able to understand what you're reading. So that's why I said you have to really love to read. So that's one of the, I would say, big requirements that you need.
Do you require like a philosophy class to become a lawyer?
Not at all. They do say philosophy is one of the better majors because it involves a lot of reading and critical thinking, and there's a lot of analysis that goes into reading cases and being able to apply what you learn from the cases to other factual situations. So it's a good major to have, but it's not the only one. I would suggest that you pick a major in college that you love, because you don't want to be into something that you're not interested in. So pick a major that you enjoy, that you love, that you find interested, and whatever it is, you can still get into law school.
My question is for April. As a major in law, what was the hardest thing to overcome?
I would probably have to say the hardest thing I had to pick up once I got to college was discipline. Most engineering courses through college is 5 years. My school pushed it into 4. So in order to complete it in 4, I had to take about full semesters every semester, credit hour-wise. So being consistent and disciplined was pretty difficult, because no one's telling you what to do. No one's telling you to wake up and go to class. No one's telling you to eat and sleep and do your work. So that discipline to keep up in your studies, because the course just keeps going if you're in that class. So working through that was probably the most difficult thing I had to do.
I have a question for the judge. So I want to be a lawyer, right? And I wanted to know if it had any effect on someone who is not an avid reader.
Hold on, Madison, my apologies. I'm having a very difficult time hearing your questions because of the murmurs. Please be quiet and be respectful. Thank you. Go ahead, Madison.
I wanted to know if you had any advice for someone who's not an avid reader or doesn't like reading, but they have interest in law, because I know it's a lot of reading we're going to have to do. And you know at least how to try to get past that, or if there's other methods. Like if you have the other skills like talkative and like the passion, things like that, if you don't like reading.
Well, you're going to have to read, but if you don't love reading, what can you do is practice. Like whatever you have discipline, like April just said, you may not
part of what you're going to need to do is read a lot, and you need to practice that. And you don't have to love it, but you need to practice doing it often enough that you can, read at a good pace and understand everything that you're reading so that you'll be able to have an easier time in law school and with the testing. Because the testing to get into law school and the testing after to actually become a licensed attorney is not easy. It's very, very difficult. When I finished law school, I studied for 2 months, 12 hours a day in order to pass my bar exam. Because it's like, I treated it like a marathon. You have to really, really get into it because it was a 2 days, and actually it was 3 days exam for me because I took the test in New Jersey and New York. And so it's a lot that you have to be able to do in a timed amount of time. So if you don't like reading, just keep practicing at it, and hopefully you'll get better, and then eventually you'll be able to do it even if you don't love it.
But for those of you who say it's practice work every day, how do you find a work-life balance?
Thank you for that question. Similar to some of the other people, and I talked about work ethic, you have to put in extra. You can't just go to work and do what's expected in the day. You always have to put in more. But to find that balance, I mentioned it when I was speaking, I start off with my calendar every day, and I look at it through the week, and I balance out where can I fit in getting my nails done, going to the gym, seeing my kids. I put it into my calendar to balance it out. I start every single day with an intention, looking at my calendar. I have a system in my office that starts with just how meditate, staff time off, looking at my calendar, and then what I have to do in the day, and then where can I fit in everything that I like to do. My friends that are on this panel that know me know that I do that pretty well. I like to have fun. I go away every single weekend. I don't have to work. However, I get pulled back very often, like this weekend with the fire. You really have to work it into your schedule and make it a priority, because you do have to have fun on top of enjoying the work.
That is all the time we have. Let's give it up one more time.